Now, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his dedication to addressing pressing education issues, specifically tackling the nationwide school fees hike amid economic challenges. The assurance was given during a meeting with the executive of the National Association of Nigerian Students at the Presidential Villa. Additionally, in response to concerns about the delayed students' loan scheme, the president announced its commencement within the next 2 weeks. The president's commitment to youth-related matters was further emphasized during discussions with the Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, who assured the students of government's efforts to prevent a potential ASUU strike.
Absolutely gone who about it is absolutely determined that we see it through, and we see it through successfully. That was supposed to be launched in January, but it's anything worth doing is worth doing well. So it's better late than never. We are hopeful that it will be launched in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We're just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's, so that when it's launched, we'll have a policy that is cannot be faulted.
Even though they commended Mr. President on the student loan initiative, they've also expressed some concerns on the high cost of living across campuses in Nigeria, and we've assured them that government is looking into interventions that may lead to subsidizing foodstuff across campuses if we succeed at pursuing that endeavor. Thank you.
First is the student loan, and he's a lover of education. Education is the bedrock, and they equally release funds for intervention, UBEC and TED fund given to students, because that is development of infrastructure. So we came in to thank Mr. President.
We're joined now by the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Lucky Emonefe. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you, and good evening.
Yeah, we heard you moments ago, refer to some of the points or high points in your meeting with the president. Tell us more about the key issues that were raised. What exactly were your demands, and how satisfactory would you say the president's response is? I would like to know exactly, in specific terms, what did the president promise you?
Okay, quickly, our visit today, we met with Mr. President, though it was not planned, but since we were in the villa, and I think as a father, I said, Nancy said, I want to see them. So we went to see the Chief of Staff. The President said, okay, it is not scheduled, but we will see you people. We are ushered into the President's office. We met with him. First and foremost, we thank him for those educational policies, development he has initiated. And I think first and foremost, the student loan bill, by signing it into law, was the first bill. We thank him too for those funds released for intervention, for infrastructure. Then we equally thank him this free registration given to the disabilities by JAMS. The JAM give free registration to disables. So we equally thank him for that. Then we brought our challenges to him. First, we wanted the inclusion of students, not good for student without student, inclusion of students in the student loan that is going to be launched in a week from now.
When you say inclusion of students, help us understand clearly. I mean, are you already not factored in? It's a student's loan. One would assume that students are already involved in it, or what level of involvement are you talking about? Okay. Is it in the disbursement of the loans or as beneficiaries?
No, not as beneficiary, not as disbursement. What we want to know, our students need to be sensitized. Right. We need to tell them the procedures, enlighten them on the loan. And we need to be represented in, there is a committee for it, so that the interests of students will be protected. I think we talk about that. They give us listening ear, and they have agreed that yes, we will be fully involved in the process. They give us positive answer. Then the economic challenges, the hard times, school fee hikes, hike in school fees. We presented those issues, and they have assured us that, of course, they will look into it. But we, as student leaders, we have already given our students mandate, because Mr. President signed executive bill that there shouldn't be further increment in school fees. And we are going to ensure that directive is implemented. So those vice chancellor, provost in charge of schools, increasing school fees, NANS have set up a committee to monitor. Anywhere we see there is hike in school fees, we are going to proceed straight and intervene quickly, because that's what Mr. President have assured. Then to cushion the effect of students, we have appealed to Mr. President to look at it, how palliative can be given to students. And really on the student loan, it's for us and it's for the benefit of everybody. So Mr. President wants access to education. So I think most of our demands we attended to today.
And Lucky, first, why do you think you need to be included in the committee? What's your fear?
You cannot be talking about things for students that are good for students without getting the student involved. You can't be cutting the students on their behalf. Of course, if you are making policy for students have representative. We have representative from...
There were fears you're not saying, because everyone in our society can't have a representative on specific issues.
But the Nigeria Bar have representative. ASU have representative. Different sector have representative.
In government committee.
In this student law committee. And they are not students. So students equally have leaders, of course. If you want to send message to them, you pass through the student leader, of course.
Have you also considered meeting the regional, the sub-national, talking about the states? Because when you spoke about palliative, it reminds me of bursary. You live in the state and you're putting the burden on the federal government all the time. So what about the states? Is this conversation also going to go with the states, talking about the governors?
Of course, like what Mr. President told us today, like one of the advantages, he mentioned the effect of this subsidy removal. He stated it in our present that before now, states don't get resources like this before now. But because of this removal, they have a lot for them. Of course, we are going to take to our state governors and representatives. Of course, they have their level of intervention too at the state level. Even these disbursements of palliative and will be given to state, of course. We have state student union. They are all of them are under NAS. So of course, we'll take to our governors, local government.
You know, my worry is because so we don't abuse some words, palliative and everything. To close, bursary is still very much there in the student lexicon. So
are you making a case for that?
Yes. How soon are you meeting these governors?
Quickly, in each of these states, I think there is bursary for indigenous students of state. Right. Of course, those state union, whenever they advocate for increment, they are even making that now for increment in their bursary. Of course, we join them. When we are opportune to meet their state governor, we say our state, because we meet with the local one first. So we meet with them. Now we present the issue. Please, the cost of living is high. Please try and increase. Like in Akwa Ibom State, there is high level of increment. The level is high. Some states still give 20,000, 10,000. So
your intervention is it to ask the schools not to increase the school fees, or what manner of intervention are you talking about? Of
course, we intervene by dialoguing with the school and look at what Mr. President have said. Of course, once the local one could know, the zonal could know, national will intervene. And when NAS intervene, of course, they will always listen.
Right. Lucky Emonefe is President, National Association of Nigerian Students. Thank you so much for
joining us.
Wish you all the very best.